Dear viewers, within the vast, endless grasslands of Mongolia, life inside wool tents continues to follow customs that the rest of the world has long forgotten. Here, brides are abducted on horseback. Widows are inherited by their late husband's brothers. A host's daughter offers comfort to guests on cold nights. One unique northern tribe controls reindeer with their thoughts. Trained from childhood, their hunting eagles are more valuable than entire herds of sheep and goats. And the story doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. You can ride a horse for 3 consecutive days here without ever meeting another human being. The horizon is so flat and level that in ancient times, mariners relied on it to navigate their ships. Mongolia is not only one of the most extraordinary countries on Earth, but it may also be the most unique region remaining today. Before we talk about how the people of Mongolia live, we must understand how they marry, because their rules are not written on the paper documents of any city office. In the West, baigis. In the Western province, where nearly 9 out of every 10 people are of Kazakh descent, a centuries-old tradition known as ala kachu is practiced. This phrase literally means take and run. A young man rides out on his horse across the grasslands, chasing not an enemy, but his future wife. He lifts the girl onto his horse and gallops back to his family. By the time the girl's parents arrive, she has already stepped inside his tent, and the tribal elders, with bread and salt, have already sealed this union. Although Mongolia declared this practice illegal decades ago, local women say it still happens today. Perpetrators are rarely prosecuted, and no one can say for certain how often it occurs. Following this, there is another, even older custom. When a Mongolian man passes away, his widow is not separated from his family. She is either inherited by her late husband's brother, or his brother takes her in as his own. This is known as a levirate marriage. Genghis Khan had formally incorporated this into his legal code, the yasa. His own mother, Holun, lived under the shadow of this very rule. His wife, Berte, also faced the prospect of being handed over to an enemy under this same system. The laws of the yasa were by no means lenient. The punishment for adultery was death. However, it was the brother's duty to provide full support to the widow, rather than asserting his authority over her. This system was designed to keep children safe, keep herds of livestock together, and prevent the family from breaking apart after the passing of the head of the household. This tradition was created to protect children, keep livestock herds intact, and prevent the family from falling apart after the departure of its head. These customs persist today because Mongolia has not experienced urbanization in the same way as the rest of the world. 47% of the entire country's population is now concentrated within the single city of Ulaanbaatar. The remaining half, especially the Kazakh people living in the West, still lead their lives according to their ancient traditions alongside national law. If you have ever seen a thumbnail on the internet claiming that Mongolian hosts offer their daughters to provide comfort to guests throughout the night, let us clear up the reality of this claim. This is not a widespread ancient tradition practiced everywhere. However, the hospitality of the Mongolian people is profound. In earlier times, when a husband was away from home, it was quite common for a woman to welcome and host strangers, and as long as the purpose was survival and maintaining social harmony, it was never considered any form of betrayal. In families without children, relationships outside of marriage were sometimes viewed with a more open mind in order to continue the lineage. When it came to choosing a wife, the primary criteria for choosing a wife were her health and her ability to work. A woman who had already given birth to children was viewed as a solid guarantee for continuing the lineage. However, the most reliable English translation of Marco Polo's travels, prepared by Sir Henry Yule in 1875, links this unique practice to a city named Kamul, which is known today as Hami within Xinjiang, northwest China. Yule also suggested that different forms of this practice were linked to certain parts of Tibet as well. None of these places are in Mongolia. Are the grasslands of Mongolia. Modern Mongolian scholars completely refute this false claim, and Mongolian audiences often ask where this bizarre notion even originated. The reality of what the Mongolian people actually do for their guests runs much deeper. When you step inside one of their tents, you don't shake hands. Instead, you exchange small snuff bottles filled with tobacco powder. You take a little sniff and then return it. Refusing to do so is considered extremely rude. You sit facing the north, which is considered the most honorable place. If you are a guest of honor, a sheep's head is served to you. And before any other beverage, you taste arog, which is sour, slightly frothy mare's milk containing less than 2. The vessel made of cowhide in which they prepare it holds such great cultural significance that in December 2019, UNESCO included this technique in its list of intangible cultural heritage. All of this is considered sacred because the weather in the grasslands is extremely perilous, the winters that come. A stranger was not just a curiosity, but a chance to save a life. Refusing to host a guest could directly result in their death, which is why the Mongolian people transformed hospitality into a blessing. Today, in 2026, with 850,000 international tourists having visited in 2025 and a set target of 1 million for 2026, these customs are being retaught to outsiders, not as rumors, but as a code of conduct. If you came here believing the story about the daughters to be true, please leave a comment below. We take every single one of your comments very seriously. The real twist is that in modern Mongolia, women themselves are completely changing these old rules. Let's start with the statistics. For every 100 men, there are approximately 105 women. In Ulaanbaatar alone, there are over 60,000 more women than men. The social pressure to find a life partner before the age of 29 is immense, and women who pass this milestone often have to redesign their entire life plans. The main reason for this is education. In Mongolia, in the world's most significant gender disparities in the world can be seen. Over 60% of university enrollees are female, and the gender parity index in higher education stands at 1.39 in favor of women. In the year 2000, only 23% of Mongolian boys completed upper secondary education, whereas 39% of girls finished school. Boys were often pulled out of studies for herding livestock and mining work, while girls were sent to cities for education. Today, 20 years later, those boys are still on horseback, while women are managing large offices in Ulaanbaatar. The economic recession of the 1990s, following the collapse of the Soviet Union, led to unemployment and alcohol consumption rates among Mongolian men that rank among the highest in Asia. Many women in rural areas looking for a responsible life partner often cannot find such men around them. Therefore, they are choosing a different path. Since the mid-1990s, the trend of Mongolian women marrying and moving to South Korea has grown rapidly, and now Korea is their primary foreign destination. These women are not helpless. They are the ones completely transforming the system that their grandmothers once accepted. In the far north of Mongolia, within the Kovaskol province near the Siberian border, fewer than 300 people, known as the Duka, reside. Outsiders know them as Tasatan, or reindeer herders. By 2024, their reindeer herd had grown to over 2,400 animals, yet only about 85 to 90 families still live according to the old ways. They do not build round wool tents. Like the northern Siberian people, they live in conical tents made of tree bark and hide. Their children learn to ride reindeer at the age when children in cities learn to ride bicycles, and their spiritual world is managed by shamans who claim to speak to the spirits of the forest. In 2023, the Duka culture was nominated for UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List to help preserve this quiet and slowly fading lifestyle. Near the frozen Altai mountain range in the far west, the Kazakh people train golden eagles for hunting. Boys begin handling these young birds from the age of 10 or 11. A skilled hunting eagle is considered more valuable than an entire herd of sheep and goats because it is a symbol of the family's honor. Every year in October, about 60 Kazakh hunters and nearly 700 guests gather in Bayan-Olgi for the Golden Eagle Festival. These events include archery, horse racing, eagle flights for hunting foxes, and a game involving dragging a goat skin on horseback called baskashi. This is one of the oldest partnerships between humans and predators on Earth. Mongolia's population is approximately 3.3 million, and there are more than 4 million horses here, a math that is impossible to find anywhere else on the planet. The Mongolian horse is small in stature, barely 14 hands high, sturdy and muscular. Yet it is one of the most resilient animals on Earth. It can survive in bone-chilling sub-zero temperatures of -40 degrees without a stable or any grain. The ice that is dug away to uncover the frozen grass beneath. Genghis Khan's armies moved at a speed that European commanders considered completely impossible, because those commanders were thinking of their own European horses, which required stables and grain. A Mongolian horse needs nothing but the open grasslands. Here, children begin horse riding as early as 5 or 6 years old. Every year, during the Nadam Festival, held from July 11th to 13th, the riders racing on national television are between the ages of 5 and 12. UNESCO included Nadam in its list of intangible cultural heritage in 2010. This festival celebrates 3 traditional sports: wrestling, archery, and horse racing. These are the 3 vital skills that built the largest contiguous land empire in human history. The importance of horses is not limited to war. The Morin Khor, or horse-head fiddle, has both its strings and its bow made from horsehair. UNESCO registered it as intangible heritage in 2008. When a Mongolian artist plays the Morin Khor, they are not just performing music about the horse, they are presenting the very soul of the horse through their melody. Despite this, today, only 3 or 4 out of every 10 people in Mongolia actually know how to ride a horse. 70% of the country's population has now migrated to the cities. This land of horses is slowly losing its true riders. If the grasslands define the horsemanship of the Mongolian people, they also shape their physical appearance. The build of Mongolian men is often as robust as these open plains. Many men stand over 1.8 meters tall, weigh more than 90 kilograms, and possess a level of endurance that gives them the strength to ride horses continuously for dozens of kilometers, even in sub-zero temperatures. The entire world caught a glimpse of this at the end of 2025 with the launch of the Netflix reality show Physical 100 Asia. Mongolia's team included Bayar Saikin, a 5-time winner of Nadam Wrestling, who holds the official government title of Lion. Alongside him was Adyasurin Amar Saikin, who won a bronze medal in judo at the 2022 Asian Games. Within its first week, the show reached Netflix's global top 10 list with 2 million viewers. Mongolian women possess a different but equally unique beauty. Round faces, distinctive eyes, and clear skin refined by long summers and incredibly harsh winters. However, in traditional thinking, beauty is defined by strength rather than facial features. A woman who can manage livestock, pitch a tent, milk a yak, ride a horse, and endure biting cold is considered the most eligible, even if her face might not catch the attention of a Western magazine. This definition is slowly changing in the city of Ulaanbaatar, where Western beauty standards are making their way in through phones and television. But in the open grasslands, the old standards still prevail. At the Nadam Festival, women are now allowed to participate in archery on horseback and horse racing. However, wrestling is still reserved exclusively for men. The traditional Mongolian deal they wear in the competition is based on a 13th century design. Its wide skirt is crafted in a way that allows a woman to sit comfortably, even on a horse running at full speed. Here, beauty is defined by a skill that survives even amidst the fiercest winds. When you step inside a gur, the traditional Mongolian tent, you are entering a 4,000-year-old world of sacred numbers, ancient symbols, and unbreakable rules. This tent is a masterpiece of portable engineering, a wooden frame and felt made from sheep's wool that can be dismantled and loaded onto a cart in just a few hours. Its door always opens towards the south. The hearth in the center is considered extremely sacred. The main pole supporting the roof is seen as a symbol holding up the sky itself. In 2013, UNESCO included this art of making Mongolian tents in its list of intangible cultural heritage. There is one detail here that most outsiders do not understand. A total of 81 ribs are used in the roof of this tent. The number 81 is the result of multiplying 9 by 9. In ancient Mongolian beliefs, the number 9 represents the 9 layers of the heavens in Tengrism, the highest level of the sky. Wedding gifts are always given in multiples of 9, and sacred objects are also grouped in sets of 9. The solde, the flag considered the symbol of the entire Mongolian state, features exactly 9 tufts of white horsehair, which are said to have been prepared by Genghis Khan himself around the year 1206. Every year before the Naadam festival, those 9 white symbols are carried from the presidential palace to the national stadium with full state honors. The color white signifies peace, while its black counterpart once served as a symbol of war. As soon as you step inside the tent, the traditional customs begin. You do not shake hands. Instead, you exchange a small carved stone bottle filled with tobacco powder. You take a little sniff and then return it. This tradition is far older than any handshake in Western countries, and these customs come with strict rules, the violation of which is considered more than just rude. In Mongolia, violating these rules is considered a slight offense against the spirits of the home. Rule number 1. Never step on the threshold of the tent. The threshold is seen as the boundary between 2 worlds, and stepping on it is believed to bring bad luck for the entire year. Always step over it. Never place your foot upon it. Rule number 2. Never touch the top of a Mongolian child's head. The crown of the head is considered the dwelling place of the soul, and even an affectionate pat from a stranger can cause them distress. Rule number 3. Never whistle inside the tent. Whistling is believed to summon evil winds, and out on the grasslands, those fierce winds can blow away tent roofs and scatter livestock. Furthermore, never lean against the wooden pillars that support the entire structure of the home. They are considered the backbone of the house and are held sacred. Rule number 4. Fire is considered a living entity. The hearth in the center is not merely a tool for cooking, it is the soul of the entire family. Throwing trash into it or pouring water on it is considered a grave offense. Rule number 5 requires a bit more depth to understand. During the time of Genghis Khan, water was regarded as highly sacred. The Mongols believed that swimming in rivers, washing clothes in them, or spilling water on the ground could anger the earth's energy lines, known as the dragon's veins. It is said that some of his warriors would wear the same clothes until they literally shredded and fell apart. That is the historical root of this belief. Today, the reality is somewhat divided. Mongolians living in apartments in Ulaanbaatar shower daily, but in remote rural areas where for 5 months of the year, every source of water freezes completely. This ancient caution and practical necessity merge into one. And there is a 6th rule for travelers as well. When you pass a pile of stones, known as an ovu, adorned with tree branches and silk scarves, you must walk around it 3 times in a clockwise direction and offer a stone, some money, or a few drops of milk. Ovu worship was included in UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage under special protection in 2011. Which of these rules surprised you the most? Do let me know by writing the rule number in the comments below. After hours of riding horses in bone-chilling winds of 40 degrees below zero, this is how you are welcomed inside a Mongolian tent, or ger. The name of this dish is korkok, which tourists commonly refer to as Mongolian barbecue. However, there is no grill here. The cook lights a wood fire and places 10 to 20 fist-sized stones inside until they turn red hot. Then, using an old metal milk canister, pieces of sheep or goat meat are layered with salt, potatoes, carrots, and onions, and the red-hot stones are placed between these layers. The canister is then sealed completely and left to cook for about 2 hours. Here is an interesting twist. Korkog is actually a 20th century invention. When the Soviet Red Army left behind their old metal milk canisters, Mongolian nomads adopted them for cooking under the open sky. Once the meat is cooked, the hot stones are handed to the guests so they can rub them between their palms. It is said that this completely draws out the body's fatigue and the cold. Next comes the turn of erog, the slightly frothy and sour mare's milk, containing less than 2% alcohol, which is closer to kombucha than beer. On a summer day, a Mongolian nomad can drink up to 3 liters of erog per person. The vessel made of cowhide in which they prepare it was included in UNESCO's cultural list in December 2019. You also find arul here, which is dried cheese that doesn't spoil for up to 6 months in a horse saddlebag. Children chew it like toffee during winter, making it an excellent survival food, packed with protein and calcium. And then the highest honor. The plate of the most respected guest is served with the entire head of a sheep. The eyes and cheeks are offered to the tribal elders, and you eat it with your hands. You will notice one more thing. There are almost no knives at the dining table. After Mongolia adopted Tibetan Buddhism in the 16th century, this rule was given a philosophical basis. Knives are considered symbols of violence and the breaking of mutual harmony. Sharing food without them represents unity and gratitude. But in Mongolia, food is not just for the living. There is also a distinct tradition for the deceased that involves the sky itself. When someone passes away in Mongolia, they are not always consigned to the ground. Often, they return to the sky. First, a correction that Mongolian viewers always remind us of. Tengrism is not a religion, it is a cosmic philosophy. Eternal, the blue sky, or Munk Kuk Tengri, is a way of living in relationship with the divine. There are no temples here, no sacred texts. There is only the sky, the earth, the ancestors, and the duty to maintain respect and harmony toward them. According to Mongolia's 2020 census, 82,422 people registered themselves as shamans, which is approximately 2.5% of the total population. Young Mongolians still come forward today to embrace this initiation. A shaman's costume is covered in serpent motifs and fringes, which are said to represent the spirits of nature and a kind of protective armor. When a shaman enters a deep state of meditation, it is believed that the spirits of 5 or more deceased ancestors descend, and the shaman's companion interprets the ancient language they speak. Then comes the turn of the sky burial. This practice was adopted after the 16th century, when Altan Khan introduced Tibetan Buddhism. In a sky burial, the body is placed in a remote, high-altitude location with its head oriented toward the north, allowing the elements of nature and wild animals to return the body to the earth. In the Tibetan language, this is called jator, which means alms to the birds. It is considered a final act of generosity. Unlike in Tibet, the practice of sky burial is rapidly declining in Mongolia. Most modern Mongolians now choose burial or cremation. However, this memory still defines the way Mongolian people perceive death. If you are learning something new from this story, please make sure to subscribe. We bring the story of an extraordinary country every week. But Mongolia is not just a land of sacred rituals. There is also a dark reality of the grasslands that almost every documentary on this country quietly skips. This is the point where every other video on Mongolia comes to a halt, because the grasslands are not just beautiful, they are also incredibly brutal. Let's start with the Zud. A Zud refers to a terrifyingly harsh, snowy winter that follows a summer drought. It doesn't just kill dozens of animals, it claims the lives of millions. In 2010, a Zud killed 8 million animals, which was 22% of the country's total livestock. But the recent disaster is even greater. The Zud of 2023-2024 was the most brutal winter Mongolia has experienced in the last 49 years. At its peak, 90% of the country was buried under a thick blanket of snow. Estimates suggest that the death toll for livestock ranged between 7.4 million and 8.1 million. At least 2,250 herder families lost more than 70% of their animals. In the last decade alone, 6 major Zuds have occurred, whereas previously, this phenomenon used to happen only once every 10 years. Climate change is now completely altering the ancient rules of the grasslands. When a herd of livestock dies, the reason to stay on the grasslands dies with them. Families migrate toward Ulaanbaatar and pitch their tents on the outskirts of the city. Approximately 54% of the capital's population now lives in these tent settlements, where basic amenities like central heating, sewage, or paved roads are often non-existent. They burn raw coal during the winter, and the result manifests as some of the worst air quality on the entire planet. In October 2025, Ulaanbaatar became the second most polluted major city in the world. In November 2025, it ranked fourth. The herder of the open plains, who was once a king in his own right, is reduced to a mere shadow upon arriving in the city. Add to this the struggle with alcoholism. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, male unemployment skyrocketed, and the country reached the highest levels of heavy alcohol consumption in Asia. Between 1990 and 2019, the death rate among Mongolian men due to excessive alcohol use saw a staggering increase of 628%. Yet, for those who have weathered these hardships and chosen to stay, they speak of a truth that the rest of the world has perhaps entirely forgotten. If after learning all of this, you find yourself wanting to book a ticket there, let's explore what awaits you. We begin with Karakoram. This was the historic capital of the Mongol Empire from 1235 to 1260, which was completely destroyed by the Ming armies. Recently, its layout has been partially mapped using squid magnetometer technology. Its ruins lie within the cultural landscape of the Orkhon Valley, which UNESCO included in the World Heritage List in 2004. Right next to it lies Erdene Zoo, the oldest surviving Buddhist monastery in Mongolia, established in 1586. It was built partly using stones salvaged from the ruins of Karakoram. Next, we head north toward Lake Hovskal. The Mongolian people call it the Dark Blue Pearl. This lake is over 2 million years old, 136 kilometers long, and 262 meters deep. It holds about 70% of Mongolia's freshwater and 0.4% of the entire Earth's freshwater. The water in this lake is so pure that it can be drunk directly. The national park spread around it is even larger than Yellowstone in the United States. In the far south lies the Gobi Desert. Its true identity is defined by towering sand dunes, dinosaur fossils found near the flaming cliffs of Bayan Zog, and the two-humped Bactrian camels. Amidst all this, the Korgo volcano is located, which is currently completely dormant, surrounded by jagged rocks formed by cooled lava. For special events, you must check your calendar. You will need to plan accordingly. The Nadam Festival runs nationwide from July 11th to 13th, so book early for that. The Golden Eagle Festival is held in Bayan Olgi during the first weekend of October. For both of these festivals, booking months in advance is essential, as tourism in Mongolia has been growing at a rate of 33% year over year. In 2025, approximately 850,000 tourists visited, and a target of 1 million tourists has been set for 2026. But Mongolia is not standing still. While tourists are riding camels there, the country itself is rebuilding from the ground up. Located in the southern Gobi region is Oyu Tolgoi, one of the largest copper and gold mines on Earth, with 66% owned by Rio Tinto and 34% by the Mongolian government. In 2025, a massive 50% increase in copper production was recorded there. By 2030, Oyu Tolgoi is projected to become the world's fourth largest copper mine, producing approximately 500,000 tons of copper annually between 2028 and 2036. This is the step Mongolia is taking for its own future. The biggest economic bet ever made. Within the capital, the transformation is visible right at the grassroots level. On December 9, 2025, the Ulaanbaatar Governor's Office announced that construction for Mongolia's first metro would begin in June 2026. The metro line, connecting the east to the west, will be 19.4 kilometers long and run beneath Peace Avenue. It will feature 15 stations at a depth of 20 to 30 meters and will have the capacity to transport 400,000 passengers daily. The entire cost will be borne 100% by Ulaanbaatar city itself. Beyond this, there is also the geopolitical pressure between two major nations. Mongolia is a landlocked country sandwiched between China and Russia. Since the 1990s, it has promoted its third neighbor policy, under which it has forged very close relationships with the United States, Japan, the European Union, India, and South Korea. In November 2023, Alaska Senator Dan Sullivan introduced the Mongolia Third Neighbor Trade Act, which aims to allow Mongolian cashmere and textiles duty-free entry into the United States. Its relationship with Japan has reached the level of a special strategic partnership, and in August 2024, both countries even began discussions on the transfer of defense technology. Climate change is now directly impacting the grasslands, causing them to dry up, repeating the zood phenomena with increasing frequency, and forcing more and more herder families to leave the plains and migrate toward the cities.
The Mongolia of 2030 will be a nation that, with each passing day, chooses which of its traditions to preserve and which to bid farewell to forever. If this story has changed your perspective on Mongolia, please share it with those close to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel to join us on our journey to the next country. Thank you for watching.
If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. See you in the next one.